How do I know if I'm meditating right? Are you trying to meditate? Are you feeling discouraged? Are you not knowing whether you should be thinking or how you should be breathing or how you should be sitting, at what time of the day you should be meditating, how often? Well, today I'm going to tell you whether you are meditating correctly, and if not, how to meditate right. My name is Monica Reyes, and I am a spiritual and high performance coach. And today we're going to talk about how to meditate correctly. So meditation is a very powerful vehicle. It's a vehicle for raising your consciousness. It's a beautiful vehicle for practicing mindfulness, helping you with stress, for elevating your spirit, for connecting to that higher self, that inner part of you inside. And meditation is something that's very simple to do, although it's interesting because it's something that you might not be used to doing. It's like anything else, right? It's like sometimes there might be just a little bit of a learning curve, but really it's as natural as breathing, because even in breathing, you can meditate. I'm going to give you some best practice tips on meditation. I've been meditating since 2011. I started with basically necessity. I needed to. I was a new mother. I had a law firm with about 40 employees, and so I was experiencing a lot of stress, and I knew that I was going to be stressful just because my law firm was just starting to get going. And so I brought in meditation as a form of really allowing myself to feel relaxed, to connect to my intuition, and intuitively I developed my own meditation practice. At the time, I started to use like Deepak Chopra's 21-day challenge, even though I couldn't finish. I never actually finished the practice, but it got me going. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, I meditated. That was a huge motivation for me to meditate every day, which leads me to the first tip. Find whatever your purpose is. Ground yourself in your purpose. Why are you meditating? Why are you starting off this practice? Like, why do you even want to start in the first place? Is it because of health? Is it because you want to, be a better parent? Is it because you've heard it's anti-aging? Is it because of stress? Is it because you want to become more spiritual? Like, really figure out why you're doing this. Like, what is your intention for starting this practice? That's really important, because that is what's going to ground you in the discipline of starting this meditation. Right? Just like anything else, whenever you want to build like a daily practice or some sort of habit, it's really important to ground yourself in the purpose. So I would first start off with really figuring out why you're doing this and knowing that is that enough? Is that going to be enough when you were committed to doing it every day and you've gotten home and now it's 10 p.m. at night and you're committed to meditating? Is that purpose grounded? Is that enough to get you to meditate that day? The other tip that I would say is start off small. Some people want to immediately jump into like a 30-minute, an hour-long meditation, which is great. I mean, bravo to you if this, you're obviously a high achiever, but I suggest starting off with something as short as 3 minutes. You can start off with a 3-minute meditation. It can be incredibly effective and powerful. I particularly love Kundalini. Kundalini is my favorite type of meditation. I love it because it is so precise. It is so exact. It's a technology. And so 3 minutes, you can really get a lot in 3 minutes. And there is no excuse, right? Everybody's got 3 minutes. 3 minutes in the car. If you've got kids, lock yourself in your closet, in your bathroom, whatever you have to do. But again, just get those 3 minutes in. When I first started meditating, and I had a daughter, I was a new mom, I left the house and I meditated right before I walked into the office, because that was the only time that I felt like I had. Because the minute every time I was home, after being up all night breastfeeding, there was just couldn't personally find the time, but I found the time because I was committed to meditating. The third tip that I would say in starting a meditation is find what resonates with you. We've got guided meditation. You have a meditation with a mantra, which is basically you are using a word to keep you focused. Examples of that are Om or Sat Nam. Another type of meditation is one with movement. Kundalini has a lot of those types of meditations with movement. Again, yoga is like a form of meditation with movement. It's great because it keeps you focused rather than your thoughts kind of spiraling out. Another one is just a silent meditation, perhaps just watching and observing your thoughts thoughts, watching and observing your sensations in your body, kind of what's going on in your inner landscape. You can also meditate with your eyes open. There's something called a walking meditation where you can walk outside and pay attention, activating your senses, sight, sound, and touch. And you can look at the beautiful trees or the, whatever, the cat walking across the street, like really paying attention to the textures and the form and the shapes and sizes and all of the beautiful, everything that you're hearing and everything that you're tasting and touching. You can really, that's a form of meditation. So there really is something for everybody. If you're a beginner, I suggest doing something that isn't silent, because you're likely a thinker. Most people, that's most likely their number one psychological function. And so you will likely think, which is completely okay, right? Even if you're going to think. So just know that you're going to think, and there isn't any wrong way for you to meditate, right? You can't mess this up. If you're thinking, then you just notice the thought and then you come right back to center, which is why I love meditating with a mantra, a guided one, or movement, because it brings you, or even breath. Breath is another beautiful way to meditate, because it brings you right back into that focus rather than being swept away by your thoughts, being swept away by your emotions. So the moral of the story is you can't mess this up. You can't mess up meditation. Meditation, it's exactly the way that it should be. Noticing that, if I'm meditating in this moment and the dog is barking, the dog is supposed to freaking bark, right? It's exactly the way that it's supposed to be. So just accepting whatever is in your environment. Don't make it perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you're thinking, that's okay too. If you think a little more on one time, or you're feeling like a little uneasy, or you're looking at the timer, or you're uncomfortable, you're hungry, like, it's okay. It's okay. Just show up on the mat. I would even suggest creating like a little spot for yourself that is dedicated for meditation. You'll see that every time you go to that spot, you will feel connected, because you're actually programming the energy of that space, and just go. Just go with it. All right. So that's what I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscriber button and hit the bell, very important, because that's going to notify you every time I do a video. And I will see you guys next time.